guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my anime review for Boku no Hero Academia, or My Hero Academia, Season 2, Episode 1. God, I love this series and I'm glad it's back. For anyone who are interested in knowing why I loved it, how I love this series so much, I own the first, I think, 7 volumes of the series, and I have, for those who don't know, I own, and I already have Season 1 on pre-order on the way, but yeah, but let's get into it. This was kind of a bit of, it was both a hype and chill chapter. This both a hype and a chill and a chill episode. It's just kind of picking up from where everything is kind of picking up from where all the hype from the last season picked up. And the one thing I want to talk about right off the bat are the openings and the endings in this season. I don't know why exactly. I couldn't tell you precisely why. Maybe it's the tempo, maybe it's the beat or something. But I really like the opening and ending songs in this season compared to the last season. I couldn't even tell you why. It's just there's something. I don't know if it's the music or it's the fact that the animation has all this stuff just flying at you. But I really like those openings and endings. They're extremely hype. Um, and I kind of said this, and I kind of said the same thing on my Attack on Titan season 2 episode 1 review. So I won't get into it a lot in this one, but I will say that again. It's they pretty much the one downside is that in this one that they seem to be kind of they're almost recycling the idea of giving us a bit of a recap. Although, again, it was a recap. I don't think we really even need it, to be honest with you. I'm sure almost everyone's read the manga. I'm sure almost everyone is of course as it remembers for the most part what happened in season 1. So yeah, I'm not sure that was really needed. But yeah, well, like I said, it was one of those. Like I said, this episode in particular was one of those that's both chill and also exciting at the same time because it's of course focusing on material on a UA sports festival, and I won't give away any of the insane shit that goes on in there. But let's just say, for those anime only watchers, you are headed for some seriously hype shit. I'm just saying it's gonna be some intense stuff. But aside from that, there was also a lot of good bits that I really liked in this chapter. Like, for instance, in the beginning of the chapter, in the beginning of the episode, when all the heroes were gathered around a little conference, you can definitely see for sure that throughout that whole thing, All Might knows a lot more than likely knows a lot more about who the true mastermind, who the true mastermind of the whole USJ infiltration villain infiltration was. Like, I don't, like I said, I've read the manga, so I won't say, but let's just say you could definitely see in his eyes that some, that he knows at least the person, or has a good idea of who the person is that orchestrated it all. It definitely wasn't Shig Araki. That's for damn sure. He was, like you said, he was a man child. He was acting way too erratic in order to be the one to really orchestrate it. So it had to be someone of a higher nature, and it was more than likely that person. And of course, as it was real, it was that person who was on the video screen. But yeah, um, also, one other good thing I like about this episode is that it was a very small moment, but it was a very interesting one, where apparently we see Ochiko, who is telling Ida and who's telling Ida and Izuku about why she wanted to become a hero. She basically want a hero in order to get money, in order to make sure that her family could basically live a happy and carefree life. And many people might not really think about that too often, but might not really think too heavily on that one. But if you think about it, it's an interesting dichotomy because in many respects, it shows that it shows that even though there are heroes who even though there are heroes who do it out there for money and fame and whatnot, Ochiko is doing it for the money, but she isn't doing it wanting the money for herself. She wants it for her family, and of course the villains would probably if the villains probably found out about that, they'd say, "Oh, you're just doing it for selfish reasons." But it's interesting how money can be both a good and a bad reason, and Ochiko represents probably the or at least the better, or at least maybe not necessarily the good, but at least the at least the at least the somewhat more noble reason for wanting money, I suppose you could say. Um, Also, one other sorry, I forgot to mention this too, but one thing from that whole conference I did like was where they were mentioning something called hero counseling or some quirk. It was a counseling for quirk users, counseling for quirk users, and I find that to be an interesting concept because I am I imagine it's some. I imagine that that whole quirk counseling is in fact. I wouldn't be surprised if that whole quirk counseling is in fact part of the problem, as part of the problem as to why a lot of these heroes, a lot of these those quirk users end up becoming villains to begin with. So like there are all these systems. It's kind of ironic, but there are all these systems put in place in order to help prevent heroes from happening in order to prevent villains from appearing. But at the same time, these villains appear anyway because maybe because they don't receive the proper guidance or something like that. But yeah, it is actually kind of interesting how they have all these things set up to prevent villains. Yet the villains appear anyway, only because of these problems and whatnot. But yeah, um, another thing another thing is another thing I want to mention in the beginning of the episode is I won't give away who it is, but we see pretty much we see someone that All Might refers to as his master or his sensei, who he writes a letter to, and I don't know if that scene was I forget if that scene was in the manga or not. I don't think it was, but it was a nice pre introduction to a very important and very interesting character. Uh, let's just say he is going to be a very important person later on after this whole sport after this whole sports festival is done. But yeah, is done. But yeah, it should be interesting. He's definitely. I'll say this much: he is a very fun and very fun, very strong, and a very quirky character too. But then again, most of the most of the people in My Hero Academia fit that bill anyway. That they're all quirky, they're all fun, but they're all good characters. I think. Um, another now another thing one thing I also want to note in this episode is that we get is that we of course get introduced to the is that we get introduced to the UA Sports Festival, and it's interesting how all these and it just goes to we get introduced to the UA Sports Festival, the concept of it, and it's just interesting to note how all these different kinds of all these different how quirks have managed to totally affect society in a way. Like he's uh, 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 Aizawa even said that at one point people were livid over the Olympics, but now the UA Sports Festival has basically overtaken the Olympics in popularity. So yeah, it's amazing. Like this episode did, at its core, I think did a lot of good world building, and it just built up the world as to how quirks have affected it. So yeah, it's just a really good episode. We also get some we also get some also get some also get the also get some of course some interesting cameos but by a lot of heroes that you're gonna see later on or we're gonna see later on and pretty and one of those heroes the guy that looked like he had flames over his body. Yeah, he's definitely a character who's like best way I can describe that character is kind of like he's like He's like Akainu from One Piece. He's a character you're both gonna hate to love and love to hate. I think in a way, he's a character you're gonna hate to love and love to hate. I think in many respects. But yeah, guys, that's basically my review of My Hero Academia, Boku no Hero Academia, season 2, episode 1. It was a great return to a series that I really enjoy, and honestly, like I actually one more thing. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. Um, I there have been, I think there have been rumors going around that there's going to be a split course series. So this is going to be split core. So we're only dealing with the first core, and then probably the second core is going to deal with the next arc. And in that next arc, let's just say we are going to get a lot more answers to the questions. I'm not going to say anything, but we're going to get a lot more answers to the questions about that gangly and dark looking and dark looking guy that appeared at the end of at the after credits as an after credits scene at the end of the first season. But yeah, if it is true that we are getting a second core after these first 13 episodes, I'd get hyped for that guy, guys. Trust me, he's going to be a big player. But yeah, but that's my review of My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia, season 2, episode 1. A great start, and I cannot wait for more. Uh, and like I said, guys, this one is currently both being subbed and dubbed, but by Funimation. It's one of their simul dubs, and like I said, My Hero Academia, I think, is one of those series that can easily be viewed both sub and dub. But so I wouldn't go. I wouldn't completely even think of dismissing the dub. Honestly, guys, I'd at least give it a shot every once in a while. But up to you. But yeah, guys, that's my review of Boku no Hero Academia, My Hero Academia, season 2, episode 1. Great start to the series, to the second season of the series, and I can't wait for more. I'll be delivering these reviews constantly. Okay, guys, later.